back to my channel. My name is Alicia Rebecca Parchment and this is HR Talks with Leash, where we talk all things HR. Join me on this journey to success as a HR student to one day becoming a HR professional. Guys, I'm so sorry that I've taken such a time period off. I've been away for about a month and I did say I was going to record every Saturday, but as it does, life gets in the way, doesn't it? So I've had a lot going on, from like planning my dissertation project to having a few internship interviews and just other things as well in general. I've even wanted to change around like how I record my YouTube videos. So like in terms of the position I'm in now, I'm not usually in this position, so you can kind of see a bit, some things are looking a bit cute in the background, I hope. And also I've got a ring light, I've got a tripod now, like a proper like tall tripod instead of the little mini one I had. So yeah, I've just been changing things up, and I really hope that you just stay tuned with me because I've got a lot of videos in store for you guys. But please, can you like, comment, subscribe and click the notification bell so that you're notified every single time I post a video. But without further ado, let's get into what today's video is all about. So in today's video, I want to talk about how I got offered a HR placement for 12 months and what I did basically to go about getting it. Because, you know, sometimes we kind of struggle in terms of how to get placements and internships. It's really difficult, especially in the current climate that we're in with this whole pandemic going on. So I just want to explain to you about 4 of my top tips in terms of how I got offered a HR placement, and how you could possibly implement this if you're trying to find a HR placement / internship, or basically anything, because these skills are quite generic, but you have to adapt it to the context that you're in. So for HR, that's what I'm going to talk about today, seeing as though this is HR Talks with Leash. But without further ado, let's get into the first tip that I have. So the first thing that I believe that you should do if you want to secure a HR internship / placement is to make sure that you are tailoring your CV to the job description. So what I mean by that is, if there are highlighted keywords in that job description that really stand out and that's what the employer wants from you, it is imperative, it is very important that you include that in your CV. So for example, when I was writing my CV for HR, for one of the experiences that I had for a customer service role, I said that I was able to deal with customer queries in a calm and positive manner, sorting out, resolving the problem if there was an issue, right? Now, this is good to include in the CV, because in the job description for the HR intern role that I well, one of them anyway, that I went for, they said that they want somebody to assist HR in answering any queries from employees regarding any concerns. So my the person who's going to interview me, the hiring manager or whoever it is, will look at that and can see a cross comparison and be like, oh, so she's got transferable skills in this area. So when you know, tailor your CV in that sense, then they can see that you can adapt to differences. And I would say that this is for somebody who doesn't have any experience in HR currently, because that was literally me. I don't have any HR experience. The only experience I have is like other intern roles that were, you know, little admin roles here or there, or little roles in terms of, you know, helping or assisting like a manager with like a project on something, but it wasn't long-winded. So that's where you have to think differently. So that's just one example. If you've only had experience for a couple months in like a let's say recruitment agency like me, where I just did admin, I didn't even do it for a couple months, I did it for like 2 weeks because of the COVID crisis, right? Or if you've just done experience for 2-3 months, never ever downplay your experience, but use it to your advantage. Now I say that because I don't have that much experience within like, you know, admin kind of work or things like that. I've only had, as I just said, a couple weeks experience in one position, and I had like a 3-month-long internship which got cut short, creating like an e-learning game as a learning and development research assistant. But these roles have allowed me to land internships, right? So don't ever downplay. If you think, oh, this doesn't mean anything, never do that. But actually, what you need to do is see how those skills that you gained, how they link to the job description. This is, I'm telling you guys that this is really important. If you can match the job description to the experience you've done, or tailor the way the job description is written to write your CV, you can land an internship. Trust me, you really can. So, for example, when I got asked the question, what kind of HR, how have you used your HR skills in a previous job role? I used the example of the short 3-month placement as a research and training development assistant, where I created an e-learning game, or I helped to create an e-learning game with the people's director. We liaised, we talked through it. She sent me tasks that I needed to do, and I emailed it back to her. And I was able to go through what I wanted to include in it, and I wanted to do like a blended learning approach. I wanted it to be like a reflective piece at the start, so they understood where their skills were before they started the e-learning game, and then a reflective piece afterwards to show like what they've learned from it. And that is literally a basic HR skill. And I was able to use that in the interview when I was asked the question, how have you used your HR skills in a certain role before? And it was only for 3 months, right? So if you've got anything, it doesn't matter how short it is, you can make it sound, and it doesn't even have to sound, it may have just been a position that was only 3 months long, but it was very valuable. You can make that valuable piece of your experience in your lifetime worthy of an answer in an interview. So never downplay that experience. So my second tip is that you need to prepare before you go to the interview. Now, what I mean by this is, sometimes we think, oh, we've got this, we don't really need to prepare. We already, have quite a sound understanding of, let's say, HR, because if you've done like a degree in it, maybe you kind of have some kind of knowledge on it already. So you're thinking, yeah, I can walk into this easily. But that's not how you should be thinking. You need to be like, I really, really need to prepare. When I mean prepare, I mean you need to understand what kind of questions could come up in the interview. So usually there's like a generic set of questions that they ask. For example, why do you want this role? What do you know about the company? How have you displayed teamwork before in a previous role? How have you been challenged before in a previous role, and how have you overcome that challenge? These are questions that are regularly asked in interviews, and they may point that towards HR specifically. So for example, in one of my interviews, she said to me, what kind of HR skills have you showcased in a different role before? How have you utilized these? And have you been successful in doing so? Questions like that are going to be asked. But if you know the generic ones, then you can easily kind of go into the interview having an idea of what they may ask you, because you don't really know what they're going to ask you, to be honest. They can ask you anything at the end of the day. But if you prepare and find at least 10 questions that are potentially asked in the first stage of an interview, then you will be fine. Another really, really important tip, guys, this is one of my top tips here. Research the company. In HR, right, one mistake that I think some HR professionals make, which is why they don't advance within the HR hierarchy and stay within like admin advisor, is because they don't know enough about the business. If your goal is to say, if you're saying, oh, I want to be a HR business partner, I want to be working alongside the CEO. I want the CEO to know that I'm able to make a difference and we can do something together, right? If that's something that you're thinking about doing, which is what I'm thinking about doing, you need to know the company inside and out. To be honest with you, you need to know the company, because at the end of the day, HR are the ones looking after the people of the company. So we need to know how it works, so we can change things. We can be change agents and make differences and be seen. So this is why they ask us this question, what do you know? And you need to be passionate when you answer it, but not over passionate. Some people will go too much into depth and they don't want you rambling on like in the interview. But if you know the key points, so let's say a key project that the company has done which you yourself found very interesting, right? You know what the company's values are, and what their mission statement is, because we are HR, so we should know this kind of stuff. If you're passionate about it and they can see that, and they can see that you want to be a part of that culture as well, because it's not just, you know, them interviewing you, you know, for you to get the job. It's you also kind of understanding the company for yourself to know if you want to like be a part of the culture. So if they see that passion within you, you've got the internship. Trust me, you've got the internship, I'm telling you. So just make sure you research the company, because that's very important, because we as HR professionals need to have commercial awareness, because that is what will get you far. That is what's going to get you to those top positions where you are next to the CEO at some point. But right now, yes, we're going for internships and placements, but it's still very important to know that. This one, actually, this next one, I think this is really important. You've got to believe in yourself. Like, you can do all of the research you want, you can do all the planning, all of this. But if you do not believe that you've got that position, you haven't got the position. You have to believe that you have it. So, for example, the internship that I've secured, well, I got offered, let's say, the internship that I got offered, when I saw the job description and when I saw the job advert and everything, I was like, Alicia, this is your job. You have got this job. I even named the folder, I will get this job. Because if you don't have the belief within you to say, oh, you know what, like I've got, you know, I'm confident that I can get this, and you keep doubting yourself and you're always like, what if, it's not going to work out for you. And that's me being honest, because that's what I believe personally. And you know, some people might not agree with that, but I do believe that having a strong belief in yourself that you can get a job, and that you are capable, is part of the process of getting the job, because you will come across as a very confident person to the interviewer. They will see that within you if you feel confident. But if you don't feel confident within yourself, how is that going to work out for you? They're going to see that you're nervous. You need to push past that, because you are better than that. So that is something that I always say. But also another thing that I would say is that if you're spiritual and if you, you know, believe in anything, I believe in God and I'm Christian, I would say that, you know, keep praying. Like, prayer is very essential. When I was applying for my job, like literally, and to be fair, I pray every day basically, but I listen every single day. I'm including it within my prayers, and I'm asking God for what I want, because essentially this is what we have to do. We have to have faith and we have to have belief. So guys, I'm telling you, that is, you know, part of how I secured mine. Like, I don't think that I would have been able to secure it without the power of God within me. I just don't think it would have happened, to be honest, because I don't do these things on my own. I have a lot of faith and belief within myself, but also I've got a belief that God will provide everything that I need, because he already knows my path and he knows my journey. So that is another point that I want to add in terms of trying to get, well, not even trying, securing, getting that offer from an internship. So the last point that I've got to tell you guys is very important as well. I think all of them are important. You need to ask questions at the end of the interview, right? At the end of the interview, don't say, oh yeah, that's fine, like, you know, I think you've answered all my questions. Don't do that. Go and find some questions. Even there's so much on the internet, guys, like literally, that will help you. That's what helped me. I literally typed in questions that I can ask at the end of interviews, because I don't want to just ask the generic, like, oh, so what's the next stage? Oh, so how much am I going to get paid, or what's the salary? That's basic questions. You need to ask things that are more engaging. So why don't you ask the hiring manager, what do you love about your job, or what challenges are you facing at the moment? Because that will show how engaged you are, because obviously the company's got challenges, there's problems. They want to maybe hire you so that you can add value to that and help them to solve it, right? So the only way that, you know, you're going to get that engagement and show the recruiter, the hiring manager, whoever it is, that you are passionate, is asking questions at the end, because it shows that engagement, but interesting ones. And that's all I've got for you guys. I don't want to rabble on too much, but I hope that you found this video very, informative, and it can help you with trying to secure and get those job offers in an internship, and always have hope. That's how I'm going to round it off, because we're in a pandemic, but jobs are still getting secured, jobs are still getting offered. So you've got this. Remember, you've got this, because you're an amazing individual and you need to keep trying. Please don't give up, because there's no time for that. We're grinding, and there's always going to be positions or points in life where you just feel down. You're just like, oh, I don't think I can do this, I'm not getting anything, I'm not getting anywhere. Keep trying. One of the internships that I went for, I applied in March. I only heard from them saying they want to interview me in June. Like, just keep applying. You never ever know. So guys, I know that's probably a long-winded video, but I just had to get all of that in, because if you've watched it towards the end, you're at the end right now, thank you. It shows that you're interested in what I'm saying. So just please keep following, keep being subscribed, keep liking, and keep sharing this content if you like it, guys. Thank you so much for watching my video, and I'll see you on my next one.